Each day on Idaho Matters, through a wide range of topics, you'll hear from neighbors and friends about the ever-evolving social and cultural landscapes of Idaho. Listen to the Idaho Matters podcast at boisestatepublicradio.org today.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is the Connector, Idaho's daily news. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. This morning, we've got details on Bryan Kohberger's appearance in an Ada County courtroom. We'll tell you about some Idaho lawmakers and their effort to crack down on underage vaping. And we've got some new pre-election numbers. It's Friday, September 27th. And here are today's stories. The man accused of the murders of 4 University of Idaho students in their off-campus home in 2022 was back in a courtroom yesterday, this time at the Ada County Courthouse. You'll remember that the trial of Bryan Kohberger has been moved from Latah to Ada County in order to secure a jury from a wider, deeper pool of potential jurors. Also new is the judge. 4th District Judge Stephen Hippler has taken over the proceedings, and yesterday he tried to set a schedule, presumably for sometime next year. Hippler said he really did not want to try to set a jury in the middle of next summer because there will be so many parents in the region juggling schedules with their kids out of school. So Hippler had a couple of choices.
I had 2 proposals. One was to start the trial in the evidence portion of the trial the first week of May, and the other would be to start the evidence in early September, because I am concerned about that spread that takes the entirety of the summer.
Prosecutor Bill Thompson said he wanted it sooner.
If we were looking at the other 2 choices, we would propose May.
Kohberger's attorney, Ann Taylor, wanted it later.
Your Honor, I would have to advocate for September.
And then Taylor told the court she needed a new expert witness because one of her proposed witnesses has recently died, and she wasn't ready yet to disclose who the new expert might be.
Your Honor, it's really difficult to tell you much about the expert without giving away a lot. I can tell you that this is a very necessary expert for us to have on board. We've been able to find somebody to fill the role. I'm confident in the person that will fill the role. There just hasn't been enough time to get the work accomplished yet.
Taylor also said she'll probably have more motions to come. There was this exchange between Taylor and Judge Hippler.
Your Honor, there's no outstanding motions right now. I do anticipate filing several motions in the motion to compel deadline.
I think you will find I'm probably more inclined to hear things more quickly.
Hippler did agree to talk with Taylor ex parte away from the cameras, but he will soon be setting a schedule for when this trial will begin. We should expect to see some new vaping regulations when the Idaho legislature reconvenes in January. As James Dawson reports, legislators say they will be trying to further stem underage vaping.
A legislative committee this week took proposals from the tobacco industry, retailers, and health officials as it considers an official proposal to introduce next session. Those ideas include creating a registry of products approved by the Food and Drug Administration that retailers would be allowed to sell. Other ideas include hiking taxes to make vapes too expensive for teens. Aaron Bennett with the American Heart Association says there's a simpler path to take.
I don't believe we need a new regulatory list, agency, or what have you. We need enforcement, and that is where we need to start.
Since 2020, shops selling any nicotine products must have a permit from the state. But Bennett believes many stores don't have these permits and aren't being inspected by law enforcement. The committee took no action and will continue to meet later this year. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
We are now 39 days away from the first Tuesday of November, and election officials across the region are shoring up their resources for the busiest weeks of their year. This week, county officials have been finalizing polling place destinations. For example, Idaho's largest election operation, Ada County, will have 160 polling places this year. And here are some important dates. The last day for early online registration will be 2 weeks from today, Friday, October 11th. Early in-person voting begins 2 weeks from Tuesday. That will be October 15th, and that will continue for 3 weeks. Secretary of State Phil McGrain reminds us of the importance of voter participation.
If we look back to the 2020 election, there's a lot of focus on the presidential election, but here locally, we had a race for Ada County Highway District Commissioner that was razor thin. It was 2 votes apart out of 40,000 ballots cast. But what was really interesting was when we went through that recount, in this case, of the 40,000 ballots cast, 10,000 voters skipped that race.
Some more numbers from Ada County. More than 43,000 absentee ballots have gone out in the mail. And just since the beginning of this month, more than 12,000 people have newly registered to vote in Ada County, and those are just online registrations. They're expected to surpass the total first part of the year in just September. And that is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. We'll see you back here Monday. To stay in touch with the news between now and then, check out BoiseStatePublicRadio.org or download the free Boise State Public Radio app. And thanks for listening.